you just speak and it'll come up as long as you're
I'm
unmuted.
fine then, Lori. I'm
Okay.
fine because when I was in the Teamsters, I used to do raised hand, lower hand when we
Right.
did on this. But when I thought I had a lot of other keys I got to use, but I don't, right? And I
No,
did
there's-
not know I could take that mask off. I was dying over here. And I didn't realize it until I saw you. Because if I look up there with the vice chair, she looks like she's a ninja warrior. But all right.
I have my little ninja one too, but I'm not wearing enough.
But I know the raised hand and lower hand one, and I only want to be able to vote, that's all. So I'm all right, right?
Yeah, it might actually be while we're doing this exercise, since we have to do it virtually, it might not be a bad idea to do roll call for each vote, even if it's something that we know, everybody's gonna vote yes to. Just to make sure that we have it so the clerk can record it properly.
All right, unless you say, is everybody in agreement, right?
Yeah, but I'm still thinking that even in those situations, just for this, it might be better if we each give our own vote.
All right, but I don't have to push that. I just say, just give my vote, period, like I'm talking to you now, right?
Yeah, let me,
Okay.
Snyder?
Are we only missing Commissioner James?
She's here. Oh,
Vicky, are you doing a visual too?
huh?
Are you going to have video up as well?
I guess that's what I'm looking at now, right?
Well, do
I
you
don't
need
have
Monica sent down?
Pardon me?
You need Monica or whoever sent over
For what?
to
To
set
show
you
me
up
how to push me up and down?
No, it's for your video.
so
Oh,
you can
no,
set up.
nobody, I thought it's already set up, Lori. I didn't know any difference on that. I thought it's set up. Wait a minute.
I just
Start
sent
my
a
video. I see it now, came up. It just now came up, Lori.
I just
Start
press
my video.
Okay, she's up. She figured it out.
it. There we go.
Okay, it just came on the screen. It wasn't there before.
Tom,
But am I too short? Am I too short? Because I don't see me.
I see, I don't see from your, like below your
Me
nose.
either. Oh, she fixed it.
Okay.
It's okay now, right?
Yep.
All right. So it's not part of the, oh, you got it on a book. She put it on a book. I guess I'm shrinking.
No, I have mine up on something too, so. Okay.
I'm not sliding down, right? I just gotta sit like this, right?
Gonna unmute yourself.
Well, thank you to you.
When you touch that button.
Now I know how to, because of you, Monica. Remind me to reward you for that one. Yeah.
There we go. I know our clerk is not going to be on, but we need board member James on as well.
Who?
We need board member James.
Yeah. He's cake.
Our city clerk, Tom,
yes.
would it be better for you for recording purposes if we do a roll call for everything, whether it's whether we're all in agreement or not?
Well, it's entirely up to you, Chair. If there's a dissent, if you try to do a unanimous and don't do roll call and there's a dissent, then we'll have to decipher who the dissent was. I mean, it's up to you.
Okay. I want to make sure that it's okay. I want to make it as easy as possible for you. You've got to record everything.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Odman's froze for a couple seconds.
I'm sorry?
I just noticed that your image froze for a couple seconds.
Are you using the city internet, the city Wi-Fi?
Me?
No. Raquel. We had that problem last week, remember?
Yes, I'm on DB Local.
Lori, you froze on mine too, hon.
Yeah, you may have, it might be the same thing, because I have a hotspot here, so I'm not having that issue. I'm not having that issue, and I have a hotspot, so that could be the reason. Because I have a feeling that our Wi-Fi for the city, it might be too many people on at one time, right, Frank? Isn't that what we thought last time?
Yeah, Raquel, you said you're on DB local. Are you connected to the Ethernet or are you on Wi-Fi? You know?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Do I need to get a hotspot or?
I mean, if everybody noticed that the vice chair froze, then it probably was the vice chair, not everyone else. Maybe we just need to wait and see how it goes. The vice chair, I can see your video is a little choppy. It's not very smooth. So I don't know. Maybe Monica should run a hotspot over there.
Can you guys hear me normal though?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, well, as long as you can hear my voice, you don't need to be ogling at my pretty face all night. You just
Well,
need to be able to hear my vote.
I just got a little message that popped up that said your internet connection may be unstable. So,
Ooh,
Didn't we all get that last time though?
Yeah, I'm not getting that this time.
I don't have it.
Monica is bringing you one, Raquel, a hotspot.
thank you.
I'll be right back. Start.
I wish I had the pillow. I was thinking. Oh, Sonia.
Commissioner Brandon Marty, we can have someone grab the pillow in between meetings. Do you want it?
You can see how low I am.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that chair. And my pants keep sliding on the chair. Lordy.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's have everybody. Needed a water.
Wine. Wine.
Yeah, no.
No, this is wine.
All right. Okay. Ready? Yes, I do have the gavel. Good evening. This is the Community Redevelopment Agency virtual regular meeting. It's Tuesday, April 28, 2020 at 6 p.m. Please call the roll.
Chair Llewellyn,
Here.
Vice Chair Ottman.
Here.
Board Member Brandimart,
Here.
Board Member Harris,
Here on
Harris,
mute.
you're muted.
okay,
Hold on.
I see you.
Bottom left, Harris.
There you go.
Thank you. Board Member James,
Yeah.
PRA Director Williams,
Here, I had to let Monica in. Here.
City Attorney Ansbro, you're also muted.
That bottom left thing is what you click, what I showed you before, Tom. It's right next to start video.
I don't have-
Tom's here. I'm just gonna click him in.
I don't see Bill.
Bill's over, he's on the dark background. There we go.
I wasn't there. Elizabeth, thanks much.
Gotcha, thanks.
Okay. The first item is the motion to adopt resolution adopting public meeting procedures utilizing communications media technology during declared public health emergency. Is that you, Tom?
Yeah, I'll read that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Dayton Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, of the City of Dayton, Florida, pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order 2069 and Florida Statute Section 120.45 and 5, small b, 2, adopting a process and rules for the use of communication media technology for public meetings during the declared public health emergency COVID-19, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date.
Tom, is that just so that we can proceed with this meeting?
Yes, there's one for this and one for the commission. It just sets up the virtual process. But the governor's order requires that we do this. All cities must do it.
A motion?
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the next item is citizen comments. I don't have any, and I don't see any hands raised from the attendees. Okay. So the next item is administrative reports.
Good evening, board members. It's nice to see you again in this fashion after our workshop last week. I just wanted to share some brief updates with you. I know I've been keeping in touch with you via email, but I just wanted to highlight a few things as I would normally do during our board meetings. One of the major things that I want to report to you is that CRA, Kathleen and DeAndre and our patch staff, all of our team has been working together to look at ways that we can mitigate our budget impacts as a result of COVID-19. We're looking at areas where we can reduce, where we can potentially eliminate some things. We want to make sure that we're working with the city strategically so that the impacts of COVID-19 that this city is experiencing with the general fund, we want to make sure that we're in line with trying to mitigate those issues. A few weeks ago, I shared some information with you on the potential for a business assistance program. During our calls and interactions with business owners, whether via email or phone call, a lot of business owners were asking if the CRA could potentially offer any financial resources to businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. And one of the things that I shared with you is that we would need to do two things to achieve that. One would be a budget amendment, and the second would be an amendment to our CRA plan. At the time that we were having this discussion, the Paycheck Protection Program was just about to run out of its initial tranche of funding. And that program has since received additional federal funding. So I do not think that at this time we need to take the steps to begin a new program that would offer financial assistance. I think we need to wait and allow the small businesses to try to access those federal funds before we even have any more discussions about that. So I just wanted to and do that. So I think at this time, that's not something that we should be exploring. I did want to give you a few updates on the patch. Our patch employees have been working throughout this entire pandemic, and they've been using all the proper safety precautions. And there's been a lot of positive feedback based on the patch online ordering program that we initiated so that people could order safely and remotely and, pick up their produce without even getting out of their car. And this program has been very successful so far. We've gotten a lot of orders that have come in from our retail customers. As you know, we had continued transactions with our wholesale customers, but retail has definitely picked up since we started the online ordering system. I did want to share also that we received our trailer through grant funding from the Frederick A. DeLuca Foundation, and that is to help support our mobile market. The mobile market has been suspended as a result of COVID-19, but once we start again, we'll be able to use that trailer to enhance the shopping experience throughout Broward County. And the patch is going to be continuing to do some donations to local faith groups and organizations. Coming up, we have the Dania Beach Lions Club, as well as American Legion Post 209 and 304. Thank you, Chair Llewellyn, for connecting me with American Legion Post 304. We're going to be doing a donation very soon with them. I did want to share with you also that I had a meeting today with officials at Broward County regarding the Tryon project as it relates to the Broward Redevelopment Program grant that we did an ILA for back in December, and it was executed in January. Now, since then, the developer has proposed a site plan modification that is scheduled to come before the City Commission on May 12th. As you know, the site plan modification was delayed a little bit because of COVID-19, and we wanted to make sure that when we brought our development agreement with them, that we made sure that the county was in agreement that their modified site plan was in line with the site plan that was approved in the ILA, meaning that there were no significant changes that would impact the level of investment, the number of jobs, the number of units. And so we have gotten that confirmation from Broward County. We're going to be forwarding some information on to the city attorney and to the finance director so that we can have this on the agenda for May 12th. As you know, everyone is eager to see this project move forward. But we just wanted to make sure everything was in order so that the county could not say that we were not in compliance with the ILA that we had with them.
We have a question on that. Board Member James?
Yes. Raquel, do you know if we have sorted everything out in regards to the Tryon project and the quasi-judicial process? And I know there was some uncertainty on how you're going to do the back and forth. I rewatched the meeting, the workshop that was had, and I also heard a conversation with staff. And so I want to be sure that this is going to come forward in May to, so there won't be any more delays on this project.
Well, I want to say that I was a part of a call this morning with city staff, including the city attorney and the finance director, and I do not think there should be an issue with moving forward with the quasi-judicial hearing, but maybe Tom would like to speak to that a little further.
Yes, I plan to have with Frank, IT, community development, and the legal team a practice run like you did for the commission meeting of a quasi-judicial hearing. So we'll be doing that, but we are absolutely prepared to go forward with the hearings. There's 3 of them for May 12th. I've got my mask on because Monica's in here. But we will be prepared to go forward. We have
So it's not just this one, but all future developments and everything for now will be handled in this manner, because I know some people are older and they might not have the technology to be able to, come here or download and utilize this type of technology.
Then I believe Frank will tell us that they can participate by telephone. Commission.
Okay.
Okay, if I could if I could resume, unless there are other questions on that. Um, I did want to share also that Broward County has sent us a draft of an amendment to the loan agreement related to the parking garage. If you recall, last year we got a substantial loan to grant conversion. We do still have some remaining funds that we either need to convert or we need to determine a funding strategy over a long-term period. I have sent that draft to the CRA attorney and to the finance director. This will be a tri-party agreement because it started as a tri-party agreement between the City of Dania Beach, the Dania Beach CRA, and Broward County. So the intent is to bring this item both to the CRA and to the City Commission simultaneously because it is a tri-party agreement, and it would be great to have that decided upon at both meetings on the same day. So we are working through that to bring that item forward. I just wanted you to know definitively that we have received the draft from Broward County. The other main point I wanted to mention was that we've had a significant number of folks reaching out to us, not just businesses, but also individuals seeking assistance during this time of crisis and wanting to know what the resources are. So our economic development manager, as well as everyone on our team, really has been fielding a lot of these inquiries and putting a lot of information out there via our website as well as through social media. At our next CRA board meeting, we have two presenters that are going to be joining us. We have Bob Swindell, the CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance, as well as Victoria Guerrero. She is the district director for the Small Business Administration. So the two of them will be joining us to talk about some future steps. I know we're gradually, rolling back some of the restrictions. We're going to be talking about, which businesses are likely to be able to come back online and under what parameters, and, talking about those resources that are available and will continue to be available and for what period of time. So I just wanted to share that as well. We provided an economic development activity report just to keep you abreast of what activities we've been doing in terms of business outreach, particularly during this time and over the course of the past 3 months. Our at-home Dania Beach residential revitalization program, we had suspended our beautification grants as a result of COVID-19. We didn't want to have volunteers painting, or we didn't want to have homeowners feeling like they were putting themselves at risk in order to benefit from the program, or have to sort of make a choice between wanting to be a part of the program or being worried about their health. So we suspended that, but we have moved forward with the other residential projects that we have. Our first-time homebuyer program, we are actively seeking homebuyers for two homes that are remaining. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have 2 homes remaining at this time. The other 4, those potential homebuyers, they're going through the process to get funding from Broward County. They are under contract with the developer. The next step is just for them to secure the Broward County funds, and then we would go to closing, and at that point, we would provide our assistance directly to the title company for those home buyers. For the 2 homes that are currently not spoken for, so to speak, we have been letting people know that there's a virtual homebuyer education course option. So our housing counseling agency, they've been doing everything, virtually. So there's no reason that someone would not be able to try to get into this program and meet all the requirements. And we have consistently been getting folks that are interested. Unfortunately, some haven't made it to the point where we can recommend them for approval to receive the funding. But we do have a steady stream of people that are coming in to be evaluated and kind of processed through the program. And I think that is all that I want to share. I know I sent you some pictures of the houses as of last week, and every day something else happens, and every time I visit them, there's something new there. So if you have any questions on.
I know board member James has her hand up, but I have a real quick question, actually 2 real quick questions. One has to do with the at-home project. I know we talked about this the other day, or emailed or something about it. And I know there were a couple of people that had recently applied and they did not qualify. How many people are you getting regularly to contact you about interest in this? Is it like I know you said a steady stream, but can you define it a little more?
I would have to take a strong look at it, but I would estimate that we get at least 6 or 7 people a week that do their initial inquiry, and then we funnel them to the housing counseling agency for them to start that pre-screening, taking a look at their residency, because you know you have to be a resident of the city, taking a look at their employment, doing a soft credit pull, looking at how many people are actually in their household and getting all the proof that is required. So I would say we get maybe like at least 7 people a week, I would say, but I can come back to you with some more with the name.
I'm just curious, and I know they're not all going to qualify. Obviously, I mean, we've had some difficulties getting the other 2 homes filled. So I'm just curious as to what the stream is. And then the other quick question has to do with the online service for the PAT. Do you have any numbers on that as far as how many orders you're getting? You said you're seeing a steady incline.
I want to say since we started, we've gotten at least 12 orders, and we started less than a week ago. So
Is that going to continue once this is over?
I definitely think that we should continue this. I think it's a great option. One of the considerations that we have at the patch is that there's hundreds of hours that volunteers provide to the patch every year. And with us not having those volunteers there anymore, our part-time staff, they have to be out in the patch a lot more because we don't have the volunteer hours to supplement what they're doing. So of course, we're not doing retail sales and we're not doing the markets, but what we are doing is using our consultant through the USDA grant that we have, and we're having her manage the online ordering system and preparing the orders, sending out the invoices, packaging everything, so that we're not pulling our part-timers out of their day-to-day activity, but we're still able to do that. But once we have those volunteers that are able to come back in, our part-time staff can now spread themselves out a little bit and do some of the sales transactions that we have the consultant doing.
Board Member James?
Yes, I just wanted to know about the first-time home buyers program, the At-Home Dania Beach program that we have. So there is a free online course similar to what, the home buyers education course, similar to what they did when they came here.
So that's correct. The staff at the housing counseling agency, they are delivering the home buyer education course virtually. So it's like a Zoom class that somebody would attend.
Can you send me that information, please?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you.
I think probably good idea to send it to all of us in case somebody is asking, and then this way we all have the information so we know where to go for it. Okay.
So I will definitely do that. What typically has been happening is when people reach out to us, we connect them with the housing counseling agency and we alert them to the fact that the virtual class is available so that they're not worried if they have to go to some location to take the class. But I can give you the contact information for the housing counseling agency. I would just ask for tracking purposes, because we do like to, figure out how many people have been expressing interest. If you could just let us know when you have directed someone there to the housing counseling agency, because we always do a follow-up to say, well, have you reached out to this person, or what's the status on, counseling with a particular individual that expressed interest.
Would it be better then if somebody asked us that we just refer them to you, so that this way you can keep track of it?
Oh, certainly. And they can send an email to cra@daniabeachfl.gov. And so everybody on the administrative team, we receive emails at that address. And that's the way that we are able to track it.
All right. Are you, Board Member James, did you have anything else? Okay. Board Member Brandon Marty.
Yes, I would like Raquel, since this is new, the fact that you could buy the produce out at the patch, but I don't want people to think, Mayor, that it's every day of the week, because it's not, which I really wish that you open it you know, why does there have to be such a closed thing to 2 days a week? And I think that you should let the viewers know that it's only 2 days a week.
Uh, that's a very good question. I initially thought about having it open for more days per week, but then I thought about the consultant that we have and the time and the schedule that we have in order to fulfill those orders. So I definitely wanted to start off small and take baby steps, but looking toward expanding that to more days per week. Um, I did include the flyer as part of the agenda, and just for the public to know, we have pickup days that are on Tuesdays and Fridays, and if you get your order in by Sunday, you can get your produce by Tuesday, and Wednesday, if you put your order in, you can get your produce by Friday. Also, really, you just really have to just call us also, because we do make accommodations for those who may have some circumstances that don't allow them to do the pickup on Tuesday or on Friday. So just give us a call on 954-922-0220.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Okay, so does that conclude your report?
Yes, this concludes my report. Thank you all.
Okay, no presentations. Consent agenda. I would like to pull number 3. Does anybody else have any polls?
What did you pull?
Number 3. 5.3. All right, do we have a motion to approve the others?
Make a
I'll
motion.
make
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Tom, do you need to read that, or?
Yeah, I'm in the title. Item 3 is a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Dania Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, the CRA, of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving the annual report for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019, running for conflicts, further providing for an effective date.
I pulled this just for a couple of questions or clarification. I noticed when reviewing it that the financial numbers there, the balance sheets and all that, it says it's unaudited numbers. And I was wondering about that, because if we're going to sign this into law or into a resolution, I want to make sure that it's seen and verified by finance.
Okay, so the numbers that are in those sections that says unaudited, those were provided to us from the finance department. Every year we request those statements for inclusion in the annual report. Now, the statute provides that if we haven't audited our statements as of yet, we can provide the unaudited version. And once we do get audited, we have 45 days from the March 31st deadline in order to put that up on the website. So the numbers came, those unaudited numbers came directly from the finance department.
Okay. And then I also noted in the resolution, it says that this is supposed to be submitted to the City of Dania Beach and Broward County prior to March 31st, 2020. And obviously we've missed that deadline. So I'm trying to see if that's a problem or not, or what.
No, we did not miss that deadline. What we do every year is we send a report to those governing bodies. Actually, the city clerk does a notice in the Sun Sentinel that lets people know that the report is available. So we transmit that to the county, to the city, but we bring it to the CRA board, just basically saying, you know, you authorize and you acknowledge that we have done our annual report and we have submitted it to the governing body.
So this is actually ratification as opposed to an approval. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Those are all the questions I have. Anybody else? Do we have a motion?
Make a
to approve.
motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And no proposals and bids. Discussion and possible action. I have an item under the first one is budgeting concerns. I know that since that time, our director has submitted another item below that, number 2, marketing events, budget impacts and alternatives. I think they kind of go hand in hand because that's really what I wanted to talk about was what are we doing? Because obviously right now with the virus going around and everything being shut down, we're not getting the revenues that we normally would get. Some expenses are down, which is good, but at the same time, we still aren't getting the revenues. So I just wanted to have a little discussion about it and kind of see where you are. And I do see that you put in some of the things that I was already thinking about, actually. So I'm glad to see that. But I wanted to ask you about some other things as well. So if you want to go ahead and just discuss the things that are on your item, and then we can piggyback on that.
Well, if I were to just give a summary of the discussion item following this, I'm making a recommendation about canceling for the rest of the fiscal year those major CRA marketing events that we normally would have. So that includes the art and seafood celebration. I know we had canceled / postponed, and we never really resolved what we were doing with that event. I'm also looking at Dania After Dark and Art in the Hall as marketing events that we can put on the shelf for the remainder of the fiscal year so that we can not have those expenditures. As you know, we put out some money for the art and seafood celebration, but we're unable to generate the revenue that we would have liked to. Given the current guidelines and projections for how things will roll out in the future, I do not see large events coming back online this fiscal year. I just don't see that either happening or people being comfortable with attending these events, even if those events were permitted. So what I would like to see happen when we get to that discussion item, I'm recommending that we cancel those for the fiscal year. And there's some alternatives that we can look at going forward into fiscal year 2021, handle things, and we can get into that discussion a little bit tonight if you so desire. But our recommendation right now is to close the book on those 3 events and figure out our budget limitations and what we can do on top of that to make sure that we are being as fiscally sound as we need to be during this time.
Vice Chair?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Raquel, so that would be Art and Seafood Festival, Dania After Dark, and what was the third one?
Art in the Hall.
Oh, okay. So, sorry, there's a really annoying echo. Is there any way that since Art in the Hall has sort of a different structure to it, where it's not as much of an outdoor festival, is there any way to save that as a separate entity? They do so much more with also decorating downstairs and having downstairs as an actual art gallery. It just is there anything that we could do about that separately?
I think that each of these events has a different structure, different logistic, different costs, different, just a whole different mix. And what I do know is that the Art in the Hall event is heavily supported because of the fact that we have the Dania After Dark event. And, they kind of tie together pretty well. We get a larger audience flowing through City Hall on account of that. I think there's possibly a way that, we could maybe utilize certain guidelines. Would we want to have certain guidelines in place for Art in the Hall because it is in an indoor setting? And I know some folks have been saying that indoors is worse than outdoors for some of these events. So, that's something that we can talk through, and I think it's possible that we could do something. However, because of how it's tied to Dania After Dark, I just thought it would be more seamless for us to just say no to all of those events.
Okay, unfortunate, but I understand. Thank you.
I'd be concerned also about it being indoors in an enclosed space.
Yeah, well, it's a much smaller event, and I was really talking about moving it to another area or something, so that we didn't entirely lose the art
Yeah.
component. They've built something really, really special, those volunteers. And you know everyone who I'm talking about. They put their heart and soul into it, and I just don't want to put a red marker to it without thinking if there's something we can do. But if there's not, there's not.
Board Member Brennemark? You're muted.
I can hear her loud and clear.
I can't. You're muted. Yeah, bottom left of your screen, hit the mute, so you get unmuted.
Unmuted.
There you
Okay.
go.
There you
All
go.
right. I disagree because we're taking something that everybody looks forward to, which is the art of the day after dark. And being inside is more dangerous. It is more dangerous. I agree with the mayor. Then it's better to have the outside one than to have the inside one. Because in the inside one, there's more than 50 people in there, which I'm sure Raquel can attest to. Plus, they give food there also. So why would I hurt our day after dark people outside where you could control that environment and yet have everyone breathing the same air, since they don't really know how this virus got around, and put everyone in a confined area? We're not even allowed to use the chamber. So why would you bring everyone out here into our front room? I disagree totally. When we can use the chamber, then you can use the outside room.
Okay.
That's it.
Raquel, do you want us to go ahead and vote on this at this time, and then I'll talk about the other things that I was just thinking about. So we're not going to do anything about it today. I don't think. I just wanted to throw out a couple other ideas.
Well, I thought we were just touching on it because it kind of lent itself to your item.
It's not a voting item.
Finish your
Sorry.
item and go and vote on 7.2.
We can. I mean, I'll tell you my only other issues. Some of the things that I was looking at, because I'm just figuring, and I'm glad you hit on a lot of the ones that are community involved, where the potential for a lot of people showing up, because that's obviously what we do. There's also some things I think we can look at. I was wondering if, for example, I know you go to the and some of the board members as well go to the conferences. Have you looked into online conferences? Because I've been seeing a lot of things like that that they're doing online, because I don't see where they're going to be encouraging travel a whole lot in the near future either. So that's something else. I don't know how many more you have to go. You might be done with them. I don't know, but it's just a thought because it's something that I've seen. And then the other thing I was thinking about was just looking at some of the other contracts that we have to see if we're not, if, like, for example, you said that you suspended the rebuilding Broward. And I know that's based on two different payments, right? You pay at the beginning and then you pay at the end. Is there a way that we could renegotiate with them or discuss with them? Maybe we aren't, if it's going to be suspended and we're not going to be able to get them all done, perhaps we don't have to pay the other half. So this way it's more revenue coming in and it saves some money that might be needed for something else. Because I think the goal is, and I have the same agenda item on the commission agenda as well, because we need to really start looking at these things to make sure that we don't have a problem down the road. So.
Absolutely, if I can respond.
Sure.
We have been looking at the contracts that we do have and how we can restructure some of these contracts as necessary. We did suspend Rebuilding Together Broward County. They did start on some of the homes. So we're looking at how we can potentially rework that. And Kathleen and I are working on this very diligently to see what we can do. As of right now, we have not allowed them to proceed with the homes that they've already identified. So they've already vetted several homeowners. And so we do have a list of folks that have, that are anticipating this program. And so we're going to take a look at that continuously and come back to you with some recommendations on that.
Okay. Really, like I said, this is more just to get the discussion going. I don't know where you've been with, I know you've had some meetings already with finance and discussing budgets and that sort of thing. So just kind of getting a sense for it so that we're all aware of, I mean, well, personally, my preference is we don't want to get to a point where we are cutting staff or cutting salaries. So I'm trying to find other places if, where we can make some cuts that might make more sense, so that we're not getting to that point. So, because there are cities that are already looking at that and having concerns with furloughs and that sort of thing. But anyway, so if you want us, I guess we could vote on item number 2, or did you have more that you wanted to discuss on that?
Well, just to circle back to the virtual trainings that you brought up, I do think that is a very good idea. One of the conferences that the CRA would normally go to in August, the International Council of Shopping Centers, where we market retailers, we try to bring them down to Dania Beach or let them know about opportunities in Dania Beach. And I am suggesting that we, not attend that this year. Right now, they still have it on the schedule as happening. I don't really know how, but we are definitely looking at ways that we can, be safe, number one, and, cut back on those things that perhaps we can defer to next year. We're not going to be doing any other trainings, any other travel, no overtime. When we're looking at the loss of revenue as a result of art and seafood, we're trying to cut the budget to make sure that we are balanced throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. We're also looking at ways to reduce our expenditures so that we have some carry forward fund balance to go for fiscal year 2021, which potentially could mean we're asking less of the general fund because we have more fund balance to carry forward from this fiscal year. So kind of like sacrificing some things now in order to lessen the general fund burden of the city for next fiscal year.
I know that is a concern that this is going to potentially impact next year as well. So, but we'll talk about that more later. But thank you, I appreciate that.
And
So,
we have been working with Frank, as the numbers get more fine-tuned and they go from projections to actuals, then we're going to be getting a lot more detailed with our mitigation efforts.
good. So do you need us to vote on 7.2? Okay.
I have a question.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Board Member James.
Yes, I'm not sure if this was included in that, but I don't know if we're, you said no more travel and all of that, and I understand that. If there are ways that, like say for instance, I'm taking those classes for the FRA Academy, do you think that they will have a type of class that we could utilize so we could still be on track, or I can still be on track at, getting certified, graduating in those courses?
The Florida Redevelopment Association hasn't put out any information indicating when they are likely to resume those classes. As soon as that information becomes available, I will let you know, but I'll also inquire as to the possibility of having those classes be administered virtually and let you know what their response is. The class that was originally scheduled for Vice Chair Odman and for yourself to attend in March, as you recall, it kind of took them a while to officially cancel that class. And I think they were, just in the midst of determining what response they should have, as everyone else was. And I'm not clear that they have developed a strategy going forward for how to keep people on track with their certification process. So I will reach out.
I just want to make sure voting for this item doesn't preclude us from taking those classes. Like, I'm not sure what voting for the items would be, but I want to make sure that if we have any opportunities, especially to do these things online, which, in essence is cheaper for us because we don't have to travel. I definitely don't want to be voting. I don't want my vote to count against that. So I just wanted a little clarification.
Well, if I, the item, the 7.2 item is just about canceling Art and Seafood Celebration, Maine After Dark, and Art in the Hall for the remainder of the fiscal year. My
Okay.
comment on canceling travel was staff oriented. So I am not permitting travel for any CRA staff members or any conference for CRA staff members. The board can make decisions as you see fit, and we don't approve your travels. So that's something that you would have to take into consideration based on whether those courses were offered online or not.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair?
I was just gonna chime in. I was in one of the webinars offered by the league, and one of the teachers that we had recently was on there. So I asked him if he was going to be, are we going to be able to finish our certifications, and he said yes. So, and he seemed confident that they were. I don't know how they're going to do it, whether it's online or, but they seem to have it in the works. So.
I second the motion. If no one seconded it.
Was there a motion? I didn't know if anybody had.
Oh, okay. Well, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Just FYI, I've been told that we need to have a hard stop at 6:45, so we're getting close, but in order to set up for the next meeting. That's what I was advised. Okay, board member comments. Board member Brandon.
I only want to tell everyone it's good to see you all together, even though it's on this little thing. But to the people, if they're watching out there, I hope you've learned something, because I don't feel I did. I feel that we canceled a lot of things for the right reasons. And I think that is the main thing for doing our job right. That's all. Stay safe out there.
Board member Harris?
I just echo Commissioner Brandon Marte's comments. Everybody stay safe, and it's good to see everyone. Thank you.
Board member James?
Yes, I just want to ensure that if we are going to continue doing virtual meetings, that there is a way. I guess I want to go over the procedure, because had this had any more items on it, or it was a longer meeting, what would happen? Would you just stop the conversation at 6:45 so we can prepare for the other one? Like, what is the option for that? Because Tryon is coming back in this quasi judicial, and who knows who's going to have what questions. I want to have an answer for it. So I don't know who can get that. Y'all can work on it.
Yeah, well, normally we start at 5:30, so we start a little later today. So we can always, I'm sure. If we
Right, but we've gone over 6:45 several times, and so I just want to make sure that we have a plan for that, and not just a hard stop. But that's all my comment.
Vice Chair?
No comments.
And no comments for me, other than everybody be safe and nice to see everybody on the screen. No information items, so that we're adjourned. See you back at 7.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.